This is a No One Go Alert. Here's Jonathan O.
I'm Jonathan O reporting to you from Tokyo. This is a No One Go Alert. We have a major earthquake that took place Thursday morning, Japan time at around 3 o'clock up in the northern portions of Japan in Hokkaido. This has been a very rough week in terms of natural disasters. We had Typhoon Jebi impacting the western portions of Japan, and now we've got this major earthquake that has impacted Hokkaido, and we're talking about a major disruption in terms of life because of public transit, because of power problems. So let me give you the rundown on that. By the way, initially, just want to let you know there are no tsunami concerns with this at this point. The earthquake taking place a little bit after 3 o'clock local time in the morning. So many folks were asleep at this point when this earthquake struck. Toward the southern coastline of Hokkaido, we had a 6.7 magnitude earthquake at a depth of 40 kilometers. And when it comes to the seismic intensity scale, the JMA seismic intensity scale, out of a 7, this was rated at 6+. So it's the second highest seismic intensity rating that you can receive at this point when it comes to earthquakes. And this led to some major problems. We have so far at least 100 people who have been injured. And this is recorded at 10 o'clock. This is about 7 hours after the earthquake has taken place. About 100 people have been injured, 20 people are missing, and there have been some reports of some people who are without vital signs. That is language that's used to talk about people who have not been confirmed that they have passed away, but they have no signs of life. So that is, we're already getting reports of that situation as well. So it's quite a difficult and sad situation to hear that we're already seeing possible deaths from this particular earthquake. When it comes to power problems, there are many hospitals running on emergency generators at this point because power plants have been shut down. Now, so far from what we've hearing, no nuclear power plant problems at this point, just saying that a lot of them have been shut down or a lot of them have stopped running at this point. So those of you located in hospitals are seeing generators currently powering those hospitals at this point. Public transportation, pretty much non-existent at this point. Trains have been stopped. Both the bullet train and also local trains all have been shut down. And the main international airport, New Chitose Airport out of Sapporo, no services out of there as well. So if you're trying to go there, forget it. You're not going to be able to get in at this point because the airport has been shut down. And here's the other concern. We have had landslides. We've had reports of liquefaction of the ground. So because of that, even buses have been stopped at this point. They do not want the buses packed with people running over roads that may be way too loose to be able to handle that type of weight. So even bus services have stopped at this point. So pretty much life has come to a standstill for those located in Hokkaido. And for those who are living in locations where the situation is a little more hazardous or precarious, which means you're near areas where landslides may be taking place or where the ground is starting to look a little bit less than stable. Evacuation centers have been opened, so a lot of people going to shelters at this point to be able to get to a safer location with this particular earthquake. Numerous aftershocks have been reported from Hokkaido, so it is quite rough for those who are living up there at this point. Here's a look at some of the seismic intensity reports in Hokkaido, and I want to show you that the epicenter is located right toward the southern coastline here, and these maroon purple dark dots reporting the 6+, the second highest rating when it comes to the seismic intensity, and 6- right next to that. The orange dots showing the 5+, so pretty rough, especially going towards Sapporo in that general direction, really getting smacked hard with the shaking of this particular quake. And then these yellow colors indicating 5-, and then those more peach kind of color, more the lighter skin tone kind of colors, all the way down into the northern portions of Aomori prefecture in Honshu, and then coming back around through pretty much the lower half of Hokkaido, seeing that type of shaking that has taken place. Now, we are expecting these aftershocks to continue, and usually when you have an earthquake this powerful, officials say the aftershocks, even powerful ones, can last at least up to a week. The critical time, of course, is the first 24 hours, but it can be up to a week where we'll continue to see these aftershocks taking place, and we're getting plenty of reports of them coming out of Hokkaido at this point. So you may want to keep an eye out on the report here in terms of what's coming up over the next several hours. I know that a lot of people may be trying to get in touch with loved ones located in Hokkaido. Make sure that you keep in mind that some areas may have disruption of cell service, and so if you cannot get in touch with them right away, be patient, because it's likely that many of the cell services are going to be overwhelmed at this point in order for people to be able to try to get in touch with their loved ones. So, just to recap what's happening in Hokkaido. A 6.7 magnitude earthquake at 40-kilometer depth taking place a little bit after 3 o'clock local time on Thursday morning. At least 100 people have been injured. At least 20 people are missing, and there are some reports of some people that are without vital signs, with no signs of life. And so it's tragic that we're already seeing some deaths, potential deaths, coming out of this particular earthquake. Numerous aftershocks have been reported, with landslides being a big problem and potential liquefaction of the ground. So because of that, we do have all public transportation services being cut off, especially for those in the lower half of Hokkaido. That includes any type of bullet train services, any type of local train services, buses also being stopped at this point, and the international airport in Sapporo, New Chitose Airport, currently out of service at this point in order to be able to deal with the damage and the impact that has come into the island of Hokkaido. Now, a little bit of an update on what's happening over in the western portions of Japan, because that's the other natural disaster that really impacted the country as we went through earlier this week. So Kansai International Airport, which was essentially underwater earlier this week, is now getting to a point where domestic services are likely to resume coming up on Friday. So it looks like that the international service out of Kansai International Airport will still be on hold for the moment. And that's a pretty big impact for those who are trying to fly in and out of Osaka and that general area, because a lot of businesses and business folks are trying to get in and out of the area. But with the disabling of the international service out of Kansai International Airport for the meantime, it's going to be difficult for travelers. So an alternate pattern for a lot of folks would be to go to either Chubu International Airport in Nagoya, or also over into Narita International Airport here in the Tokyo area, and taking the bullet train in and out of Osaka, because the bullet train services are now back in operation. But it seems like the recovery efforts are going to take some time. We're still seeing many buildings that have been damaged and impacted by this. I was just looking at some video coming out from a friend of mine whose church facilities are devastated by the typhoon that went by earlier this week. Now, Typhoon Jebi is gone in terms of the actual storm. That's no longer an issue at this point, but we're still watching very closely in the aftermath of what has been taking place in the Osaka area, in the Kansai area. And so Japan has suffered a 1-2 punch in this 1 week, just one into Western Japan and the other one over into the northern portion of Japan with these natural disasters. So definitely keep Japan in your prayers. That's the latest what's happening out of Japan. I'm Jonathan O, and this has been a No One Go Alert.